Larry was the first person who used beta interferon as a treatment for multiple sclerosis. It came a little bit serendipitously, but to a prepared mind. Larry was given human natural beta interferon by a friend of his at Roswell Park Cancer Institute who used it in pediatric leukemia, and you know what, it didn't work, but he knew that the drug had antiviral and immunomodulatory properties to it. But more importantly, he was seeing MS patients as a practicing neurologist and neuro-ophthalmologist. And then he made the connection. And not only did he make the connection, that happens all the time with physicians saying, well, maybe I could use this drug for this particular condition. But his greatness is that he took it one step further. He took it to the point of designing, first of all, phase 1 and phase 2 trials to see whether natural interferon, could indeed reduce exacerbation rates. He was a clinical trialist. He would never characterize himself as a scientist, but he was. He also had the unique ability to apply new technologies to studying multiple sclerosis and the response to therapy.
He assembled the right group of scientists and clinicians around him, and he was able to pull together the funding, the supply of the interferon, all the scientists and clinicians that needed to work together and do this large clinical trial that led to the approval of Avonex.
Any kind of trials of agents purporting to change the actual course of the disease would always be met with skepticism and caution in that environment. So he had to start from that point of view. So it was an uphill battle. It was his perseverance and his feelings based on his initial studies that this drug is working, and we're going to keep testing it until we prove that to the satisfaction of everybody.
Larry's biggest contribution was that he identified what the patients needed. He was willing to try new approaches. And then once he got this idea that something would work, he was tenacious at making sure it got done. You know, when I think about Larry and how important he was, not only to start the ball rolling, if you will, for MS therapies, but also for Biogen, it's like the pebble falling into the pond. What he did propagated a whole series of events, which led to new therapies, new hope for MS patients, and for us, it was the sort of the dawn of Biogen become a fully integrated biopharmaceutical company. So all the things that we can do now, we can attribute to that beginning, that pebble dropping in the pond.
He wanted to do one major thing, which was to develop a therapy that would change the lives of MS patients, and he did that. And I think that he is one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, why interferons, even today, are a mainstay of MS therapy.
If you were to ask me what would he say about advances we've made in multiple sclerosis, he would have said, not enough, not fast enough. On the other hand, I think he would be very pleased with the fact that now, 15, 17 years later, that interferon in all of its forms is still a mainstay of the treatment of the relapsing forms of multiple sclerosis. And he would have been thrilled that we have drugs now that have the potential to actually restore lost function, to result in functional improvements, not just slowing the progression of disability.